Sector 3, 8 December 2020. This is number 3. There is some good ones here. Now, what I did was I went to Blacklisted News and I grabbed 3 headlines that should bother everybody. New York lawmakers introduce bill to make COVID-19 vaccine mandatory. Critics wonder, what about my body, my choice? Apparently that only exists if you are a proponent of their particular political stances. Proposed legislation to make COVID-19 vaccinations mandatory in New York has come under fire from critics who are recalling the state's 2019 abortion bill and asking, where have our rights to control our own bodies gone? You know, the people come up with these ideas, they don't understand. They're like children playing with fire. They have no idea what they're doing, the things that they propose. And I'm talking about the people who push this my body, my choice, and government can tell you, that your body is your own or not, what you can eat. I mean, imagine a federal judge actually telling people, you eat what we tell you to eat. You drink what we tell you to drink. And in this case, you will get a vaccine if we tell you you're going to get a vaccine. You don't think this is happening? I've been following this, not just this COVID business, but other things for a few years. Just watching the slow encroachment of these dictators, I'll just call it as I see it, these dictators on the American people. Next, Democrat proposes tying, $1,500 stimulus checks to COVID vaccinations. First of all, $1,500, that's all it is, $1,500. You've destroyed the economy. All you Democrats, all you Democrat governors, all you Democrats in Congress, you have literally destroyed people's lives. And you're going to decide that $1,500, this paltry sum, that people should be grateful for this? With Democrats and Republicans still stuck at an impasse on stimulus negotiation, one Maryland congressman and erstwhile presidential candidate named John Delaney has engineered a novel strategy for killing 2 birds with 1 stone, dispensing another round of stimulus funds while ensuring that enough Americans consent to receiving the vaccine that the U.S. can quickly top the roughly 70% immunity threshold, at which point scientists believe the vaccine will stop propagating. Actually, I think it should be the virus would stop propagating. However, there's that whole herd immunity thing. So I believe this is what they're talking about, 70% immunity threshold as herd immunity, but to tie it to some paltry sum of $1,500 after you people destroyed lives. And this. We know where these people stand. Florida State Police raid the home of a COVID whistleblower, point guns at her and her family, seize all of her computer equipment. We know where they stand. This is insane. Earlier this year, we wrote about Rebecca Jones, the data scientist working for Florida, who put together the state's COVID-19 databases. They had received widespread praise, and who was fired by the state for her failure to fake the data to make it look like Florida was handling the pandemic better than it actually was. Governor Ron DeSantis had made it clear he wanted data showing good results in order to justify reopening the state. As Jones herself explained after being fired, I was asked by DOH, Department of Health leadership, to manually change numbers. This was a week before the reopening plan officially kicked off into phase 1. I was asked to do the analysis and present the findings about which counties met the criteria for reopening. The criteria followed more or less the White House panel's recommendations, but our epidemiology team also contributed to that as well. As soon as I presented the results, they were essentially the opposite of what they had anticipated. The whole day, while we're having this kind of back and forth changing this, not showing that, the plan was being printed and stapled right in front of me. So it was very clear that at that point that the science behind the supposedly science-driven plan didn't matter because the plan was already made. Since then, Jones has been running Florida COVID Action, which is a dashboard of Florida COVID information like the one she used to run for the state. And apparently, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis couldn't allow that to stand. This afternoon, Rebecca posted a short Twitter thread with video showing Florida State Police raiding a home. As she notes, when they asked who else was in the home, she told them that her husband and children were upstairs, and they pulled out her guns. This is on video. This is actually on video. She tweeted the whole thing. Or, no, she tweeted this. Even the video. This is horrifying on so many levels. Why was her home raided? Why did they pull out guns? Why did they do it after she told him it was her children upstairs? Why did they seize all of her electronics equipment? Why are they doing any of this? Jones has been doing everything to better inform the public of what's happening in the middle of a pandemic, and this is the thanks she gets. Having her home raided by the police and having guns drawn on her children. This is not supposed to happen. This should not happen. It is horrifying, and I hope that Jones is able to retain powerful legal help to fight back against this clear violation of her civil liberties and a clear authoritarian overreach by Governor DeSantis. They don't care about your civil liberties. When will you understand this? Authoritarians never do. Remember a few years back, I don't know how many years back, it's been a while. I'm not sure which law enforcement agency it was, but there was a law enforcement agency in the United States that was using at that time, they may still, I don't know. They're called no hesitation targets. They show a variety of people. A mother holding a child, defending her child with a firearm, that's a target. An old man, standing in front of his home with a shotgun is a target. A variety of people that would seem, well, I'm not sure if you could say otherwise innocuous. However, it's a variety of people that aren't portrayed as engaging in criminal behavior overtly. We don't know. It's simply a target. And they're pictures. They're not drawings. They're pictures. And each one of them have a firearm of some kind. And the idea is that it's a no hesitation target. You see the firearm, regardless of who it is. Oh, there were at least 2 children as targets because they had firearms. This was training. This was training simply to shoot whoever has firearms. This is what authoritarians do because they don't care about you. They care about maintaining their power. And apparently, Florida State Police are more than happy to help out in that exercise. I would argue that the concept that they have anything to do with the people has long since disappeared from the Florida State Police. After this, how many others? Who else work, what other departments work for the authoritarians and not for the community? Sick to 3 out.